papers.
What the fuck?
It's the bucket's fault.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, the good old bucket. Just
The good
Stanley
old
and the
bucket.
off on another thrilling adventure together.
I wonder if this is going to be any different.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled.
If it doesn't change anything, then this won't even exist.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Soft bucket, warm bucket,
Stanley clung
little
the bucket
bucket of
to
fur.
his cheek. Could his
Happy
co-workers
bucket,
really all be
sleepy
gone?
bucket. Bucket, bucket, bucket.
Le bucket.
This is the one where I have to go up to the boss's office.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Another two are checked off.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yep, I was right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek.
I have a bad feeling this isn't going to work, though. See?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because... Yep.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time,
better
perhaps,
lover.
he would become both
A
of those
better
things.
lover. Butter lover.
Bucket lover. 4,000.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind.
Was this
The
no?
bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Yeah, good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Instead,
He was
just
firmly
drop
convinced that
onto
the
the
bucket
railing.
had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Sure? Are you sure about that? 'Cause I very clearly didn't just do what the bucket asked.
Fucking liar.
Why is it quiet?
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point."
Oh.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what
Uh-oh.
is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot
It's
about
the
your
cake,
behavior
not
up to this
cake, all
point,
over
which,
again.
if that's true, well, my goodness, I think
Is
we
this a
have to do
bucket, or
something
is this
about
cake?
it.
Is this a ladder, or is this
misunderstanding
cake?
Could
Is
have
that a
dire
narrator, or is it
consequences
cake?
on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
Good grief.
So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
I think I know where this goes.
Please, step in here for a moment. Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Alright, Chaos, you're the one that's going to answer the questions.
I took
Yes.
it. Is this a bucket?
Is it a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Can we get a closer view of it? Nope, can't move. Oh, wait. Yeah, we can move.
That's the closer view.
Oh. Yes?
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Wouldn't it still be considered a bucket, though? Because a 3D recreation of a bucket's still a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Dear God.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No.
It's a trucket.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot.
You're welcome.
Next one. Is this a bucket?
Well, there's no bucket in the driver's seat, so no.
Incorrect.
Pardon?
This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
It's a paradox.
What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
You said hold on, so we can't answer yet. Or is he talking about the screen? Or the thing on the logo? In which case, yeah, that is a bucket. Or would he just say no? Because that is not an actual bucket. That's just the bucket on a logo. In which case, it doesn't actually count as a bucket.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No, of course not.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Then what was the point of the question?
Perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence.
This guy's an
Yet
AI.
now
He
I'm
can't tell the
somewhat
difference
adrift.
between a bucket and not
Do
a bucket.
any of us know what
Guy's a
bucket
moron.
is?
He can't fail.
Am
He can't
I
pass a captcha.
bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
You didn't give an answer.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here.
Are you
You're
sure
not
about
a
that?
bucket either.
How do you know I'm
Oh,
still
this
here?
is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we
I
go.
think next time we talk to Marsh, we should say we're all buckets.
Wonder what his response is going to be.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Very
Stanley
lucky
clutched the
indeed.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Down we go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the
Figler
last one,
Anmarines.
and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
I refuse to let it happen.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be
Jizzing
fired
inside
for
of a
that.
bucket.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Crazy?
He looked down
I
at
was
the bucket
crazy
in his
once.
arms. Am I
They locked me
crazy?
in a room.
He asked the
A
bucket.
rubber room.
The bucket
A rubber
returned
room
his
with rats.
gaze, but said
Rats make
nothing
me
at
crazy.
all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for
Thank
me
you for only
in
doing that
difficult
once.
times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt
welcome.
none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized,
The bucket died.
this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone
says
else's
property of
bucket,
Stanley
perhaps.
on it, and it
How
has
did
a
I
sticker
end
of
up
a
with
bucket
someone
on there.
else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre
Where'd my bucket go?
hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his
Bucket.
bucket. And indeed, now he noticed the rooms were
Bucket,
repeating, which
where are
was,
you,
of course,
bucket?
very odd.
Come here,
Now he
bucket.
felt himself floating off the ground.
Where's the bucket?
Oh, gracious.
Where's the bucket? What the bucket
Without
doing?
my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard
bucket
it
down
calling
there?
to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
I can't
But
get
it
back
couldn't
there.
be. He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None
see a
of them were
bucket
his
anywhere.
special bucket.
Oh,
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew
No,
where
I
the
didn't.
voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
yeah, everything's a bucket,
was
including me.
incredibly
That's a double
painful.
bucket.
Stanley doubled over in agony
Chaos, that's a double bucket.
and blacked out.
Bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Enter bucket.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular
Even she's holding
her
a
walk
bucket.
was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
I have several buckets with
Perhaps
me.
he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place.
You see?
How cruel the world can be,
Bucket.
Mariella thought. And she hugged her own
I have a bucket.
even tighter. But of
Where's your
course,
bucket,
she had
Chaos?
no time for this. There
I don't
were
have
a
one.
myriad of confusing problems
Are you gonna go
she would soon
mad and
have to
crazy
confront at
as well?
work.
Pass
for
out?
which her bucket
Of course
would
not.
provide absolute guidance and total
Not like I haven't done it already. What?
Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I read that wrong, and I thought she said, "My life licks ass."
Wow.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. takes
door's
a
still
lot of
open, Chaos.
humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley
Nice.
checked his ego and then proceeded onward. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
Oh.
It is different.
Whoa. The voice is the same bucket.
I feel my penis shrinking. I'm scared.
Boy.
If I did that right, it actually should have done all my audio for that. Because you know how I used to do that? It would cut off my audio. Yes? No?
Yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace. Protective, yet delicate. Assertive, yet compassionate.
Passive, yet aggressive.
Stanley
Submissive,
clutched the bucket tightly to
yet
his
readable.
chest and entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
But I want sticker. But
The cookie.
Stanley and the
I can
bucket
tell
walked
when you've known
upstairs
someone
to
for
the
too long when you're both
office.
making stupid references together.
Good grief.
Stepping in.
Stepping it. Stepping it. Jesus, Wolf.
The lights are different here. There's no yellow hue of light in here either. But there is in here. Did you notice that? Oh, that's weird.
What a yellow hue of light?
Yeah,
No.
it was delayed. Remember what happened last time we were here?
Nope. I told you. I don't remember anything.
Escape pod. Upstairs to the basement. It's quiet.
Too quiet. Where is everybody?
Be careful, it's a trap.
It's a trick! Launch the missile!
Escape.
Get there. It's dark!
This is still the same. No, it's not. Bad touch.
Touch.
Wait, they could have both gone together.
Farewell, my sweet prince. Again, that was kind of depressing.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer,
Open the
perhaps,
door and you'd
and
find
a
out.
painting. Was it a
What the f-
painting or a photo?
It's
He
actually
could no
gone?
longer recall.
It's actually fucking gone? It
Stanley
escaped?
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Hold on.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to
there
the
it is.
meeting room. Perhaps he had
Replacement
simply
bucket.
missed a man.
Replacement bucket!
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
This room's different.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
I wasn't expecting
telling
that
him
either.
that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket
Try
was
not to
wrong.
I
lose
don't
this
know.
one, you dolt.
Stanley took the
I don't know why,
to
but there's
go
something
back to the
amusing
meeting
about the narrator calling Stanley a dolt.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Do you know what we're gonna do?
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken.
Firmly grasp
and he
it!
unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies?
What is
and more importantly,
comedic
can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is
What
yes.
is comedic?
Let's dive
timing?
deeper. If you've ever
War,
told
what
a
is it
joke
good
or
for?
made someone laugh, in all
It was like a
likelihood,
Simpson.
you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time.
What is
With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny!
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Missing the sticker.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches.
Yes.
A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous.
What?
How
Oh, you
absurd.
not
What
sticker.
a
When did that happen?
hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what
All
you'll
right, you need to go
call
back to
me.
the broom closet.
Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
What is comedic timing?
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
What is comedic timing?
Void.
We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and
Hi, diddly-dee.
the video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
What is comedic timing?
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Oh, no.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
What is comedic timing?
What? We're back at the phone already? No, no, no. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. No, 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 no. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud? Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
We should have done this one last.
I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale
No, it's
with
DiGiorno.
shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so mental, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
I am Dunny with the funny. No, shorter room. Bucket.
Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yes, I know, the figurines.
Don't think I don't know!
Oh wait, the sticker's back.
Stanley,
Yay!
we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket
coming to a
walked
staircase
upstairs to the boss's office.
Stanley!
Moving on.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the
Normally you
bucket
get mad that I
guiding
cut
him?
you off.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
It's the bucket. It's keeping him calm. At least that's my guess for it. Well, I don't know what I could do.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Come on. Geronimo!
But just Just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered.
Let's fuck the
Stanley and the
bucket.
bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed.
Oh.
It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette.
Where are they getting all this?
For when
Plot
the bucket
armor.
was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that
Stanley
it really
lamps.
started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path.
The end is never
It was
the
a
end,
mistake
is
to
never
leave the
the end,
path.
is
It
never
was a
the
mistake.
end,
It was
is
a
never the
mistake.
end, is
I
never
need to
the
do
end,
what
is
the
never
narrator
the end,
says.
is
I
never
need
the
to
end.
see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was
Was raving like a mad lunatic.
This isn't
Crazy.
an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.